Hello
Hello.
and
Happy New Year.
and welcome to the next edition of the AMEXPAT Platinum Journey. I'm one of your co-hosts, Terry Stevenson,
And I'm your other co-host, Lateefah Stevenson.
and we're excited to bring you our next episode on New Year's Day.
Yes. Amazing. New year, new beginning.
Right? Yeah,
Awesome.
absolutely. Last night, partying all night,
Yeah.
and what we found was that we started just a bit too early.
Yeah. We started at 6. At 6:30.
Yeah, it's about 6 or so, and about 8:30. I kind of looked at you, you kind of looked at me, and there was a moment where we both realized
We're going to go make it.
midnight was in jeopardy. Midnight,
It was.
midnight was definitely in jeopardy. So we took a couple of photos to make sure that we had something to send off to our friends and family and colleagues and things of that
Right.
nature. And as the new year came in, I was steadily trying to awake T to that knowledge. She woke up just in time, kissed me, hugged me, and then immediately turned around and went back to sleep as I
Yes.
talked to friends and family and everything else.
Yeah, well, today or this morning, I did send out a few texts and responded to a few texts to wish my friends and families Happy New Year's.
I reached a lot of them last night. My usual condition for those who know me. My favorite holiday of the year is New Year's Eve.
Yes, it is.
So I spent a lot of time kind of downloading everything that happened over the course of the previous year, and then kind of get myself set up for the next year.
Right.
So it was really kind of cool in a way because I had that time to really kind of reflect as New Year was coming in, and then as soon as New Year happened, then you woke up and then you went back to sleep, and I think we slept pretty good.
We did.
So look, now we've kind of gotten the play-by-play of the festivities from the evening before out of the way. We are excited to bring you an episode about our travel to Italy.
Yes.
And one of the things that really struck me as I really started thinking about us having this episode was we entered into Italy strictly from a tourist perspective.
Yeah.
Probably halfway through, maybe a little bit later, there was a recognition that we were starting to view Italy from a perspective of an explorer,
Yes.
right? Where we were kind of moving from just kind of enjoying something with the thought of never returning or not living there. I think I want to say we were there for 7 or 8 days, 10 days. We were there 10
Yeah.
days
Yeah.
in Rome. We spent some time in Paris. We spent some time in London.
London. Yeah.
But the majority of it was in Italy and Rome and Florence, and
Yes.
we really recognized, probably I would say, probably towards the end of our time in Rome, that we were now viewing the country from a very different perspective.
Yes, we was. Very much so.
Yeah. So with that said, our intention is to really kind of give our overview of what Italy was like initially as a tourist, and then some of the aspects that we really kind of learned as we went into that exploration mode and the research mode into what Italy had to offer.
Right.
So that's the plan for today, and I'm really excited about it only because Rome is again my number one destination. I think even more so than Italy. I think I could probably spend the rest of my life in Rome and be happy.
Yeah, considering that you think you're Italian anyway.
Right. Right. So one of the things is I think is very, very, just for background, right? So there are two specific, I guess, ethnicities or nationalities that I have somehow
Two.
secured under my
Two.
umbrella. Two major ones,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
And one of them is Italian, Italy, and I used to joke at her all the time that there's some portion of me that's Italian. It's got to be because I blow through
Yeah, he loved Italian food.
everything.
Absolutely love it.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, and there's nothing that has ever shown me in the history of my
Never.
life
Nothing.
that I am. However, Oh, I still kind of claim both because I could eat.
You do.
Yeah, if when I'm not eating Italian, I would be eating Latin food.
Yes, yes.
So
So,
that being said, now we got that out of the way. The trip to Italy was originally a retirement trip.
yes.
And so, and I had never been, but it was on my number one on my bucket list. And so we planned around really just doing big touristy things, right? We
Right.
were around the Colosseum. We were at the Vatican. There were times where we were just kind of taking tours along the ruins.
Right.
So let's talk about that piece of it first, right? I think from that Italy experience, this is what I took from Rome and Italy as at large. Rome specifically, very layered. It was energetic. It felt more New York City like than a lot of the other places I went to in terms of the crowd size because it was a tourist season.
Okay.
Everybody was there.
Okay.
But that was really the extent of how it really aligned with me from that urban environment because honestly, I just kind of dismissed the number of people around. I had always loved the architecture, the
Right.
art, the how the city was built, and I'm a history buff for those that know me.
Yes.
So I was soaking all of that in as we
Yes.
were taking these tours. But the city itself, what I found was it was this unique. For me, it was this unique blend of very modern aesthetics. There were these condos and certain buildings they had built obviously more recently that were
Right.
very, very sharp and modern with the glass and the metal and the modern kind of styling. And that against this landscape of these ruins,
It's breathtaking.
it really is. And so I fell in love with it about everywhere we went.
Yeah.
We also went to Florence. About the middle of the time in Italy, we decided, okay, hey, we're going to take to Florence. We're going to take the train
Right.
and then just explore the city. We had a good time. First of all, laughing and giggling on the train for about 2 hours as we were kind of looking at the Italian countryside is enough for anybody to be excited.
Exactly. Oh my goodness. I mean, it is something where it's just completely breathtaking. I don't even know how to really describe it other than it's just gorgeous. It's beautiful. And to have had the opportunity to ride the train and to see the countryside of it, it's
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
words can't describe it because it was beautiful. It was beautiful.
So here's the thing about Florence that was really, really kind of,
Excuse me.
go
One
ahead.
thing that I just remember. Now, when we was taking a train, I think it was early morning, and the dew was still kind of on
Oh, yeah,
the
yeah.
grass. And oh my goodness, it looked so
Yeah, and
peaceful.
the sunlight over the hills as the train was moving.
Yeah.
I think I did a video and then posted to our social media where I was kind of doing a wrap up of the Florence
Yeah.
piece of the trip. And I did some where we were running along, we would pass certain signs in Italian,
Yeah.
but that against the background of these cities, towns, and villages that we would pass along the way between Rome and Florence, it was just beautiful.
Yeah.
But here's the thing about Florence that really, really kind of took me. It was, to me, a different perspective of Italy in as much as the fact that, again, the Colosseum area, the Vatican, the Trevi Fountain, there were people everywhere. If anybody's ever tried to take a picture of Trevi Fountain and you come up with this ridiculous notion that you're going to get there before everybody else, I think we showed
Yeah.
up at like 6 in the morning. We were booted and scooted.
That was
And
not
we
the case.
turned the corner to Trevi Fountain and it looked like the middle of the day.
Yes.
I mean, there were probably 1,000 people there trying to take pictures.
They were all very.
And then there was these stairs too. I can't remember. I think it was the Spanish Steps. We go to take some pictures there, and I think it was less people. People had really kind of gone to the fountain first. But as we were there, maybe about 20, 30 minutes, and as we were leaving, then it was starting to
Yeah.
kind of fill up. We were moving down the street, but beautiful to walk Rome in the morning hours, a cup of coffee in hand, leisurely, just kind of
Yeah.
tripping over stuff. Like we tripped over the Pantheon.
Yeah.
I think we were on our way to the steps and kind of went, oh,
Yeah.
this looks familiar. Well, for me, at least, I was like, oh, this is Pantheon. We got to take this picture.
Mm-hmm.
And we hit it just right. I think it was just me and it was like two pigeons. Me,
Yeah.
you, two
Yeah.
pigeons, and everybody else had been either at the fountain or they were eating breakfast or whatever.
Right.
So we had a great time. The city itself is just absolutely beautiful in terms of lifestyle and environment. I think that's what happened. We started seeing how we could vision ourselves being a part
Exactly.
of that community. It was just absolutely beautiful. But the most important thing for me was these other little things that really kind of come out in time of Rome. I didn't find the tension as much like what we found in Panama. There was no sense of tension there, but there was because Rome is Rome, right?
Right.
There was this hustle bustle, right? It was almost like kind of New York City when if
Yeah.
you could just stand off to the side and watch a New York City sidewalk in Manhattan, you know, 11, 12 o'clock in noon, people everywhere. It was kind of like that. But it was different in as much as although it was hustle bustle, it wasn't people being angry or tension filled.
Not at all.
Right.
Not at all.
The Vatican, when we were there, there were a lot of people there, but even with the crowds and the moving through the museum and everything else, it was an understanding like, hey, everything's fine.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of us today.
Yeah. And I think everybody understood, because even when we were going through the ruins, there were times when we had to stand in line for hours, not even moving,
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
just standing in the line. Where were we
Yes.
going to see? I can't remember.
We were going
Can't remember.
so we had done the Colosseum already.
Yes.
And then we were moving into the rest of the city ruins.
Okay, that's right. That's right. And yeah, we were standing in, I mean, and it was blazing hot. But I think I say that to say that everybody was understanding and patient.
That was one thing that I noticed about that tour and even the tour of the Vatican. So we get into the Vatican and there's this, I mean, when you start lining up, there's guides that are taking groups of about 20 to
Yes,
30 or whatever the
right.
case may be. But that group line, so to speak, went on for like 2 blocks.
Yes, yes, easy.
Rome was used to it. It was clear Rome knew how to handle it. And it was beautiful. Like we still had a great time, everything that we were doing. But I do want to note that. So if somebody's looking for that city atmosphere, but it's not quite hustle and bustle,
Right.
Rome may not be the option for you. I mean, there's other cities in Italy that do meet that need, but that it was very, very New Yorkish in terms of
Yeah.
the crowds.
Yeah, and I think probably because I think here that since we kind of got away from not smoking in restaurants and places like that. When we was there, it was a lot of smoking because we
Oh
wasn't
yeah,
really
yeah.
used to seeing people.
Italy wasn't up to date with the rest of the world in terms of hey,
Yeah, but
yeah.
I mean I really dig their culture. I really did. The food.
Oh, don't even talk to me about the food. Hey, look, we went to. It was a sports club.
Yes, yes,
So I've got this hankering for carbonara and this Alfredo kind of dish where literally they take pulling the cheese off of the block and melting it and rolling it into the pasta with this
yes.
bacon with these bacon pieces. Forget about it. But here's the thing: we were in the hotel, which was absolutely phenomenal. I mean, from the moment we walked in the door, I think we started taking pictures and video. But we go to the sports club. I've been talking about like tennis and racquetball and some other
Hold
stuff.
on, but when we got in the hotel,
Uh-huh.
remember when we got it? What was waiting for us at the hotel? You remember?
Oh, you talking about all that food in the room?
The desserts. It was just
Right,
desserts.
yes.
So it was a raspberry cheesecake dessert and macaroons.
Yeah,
I thought that was a very special touch
yeah.
to the hotel room, and it was very delicious.
Yes, it was. But anyway, back to the sports club. Like, I mean, this is just a normal. If you can picture, like a neighborhood Y almost kind of
Okay.
area. The restaurant itself was just like a clubhouse.
Yeah, it was.
It was.
It was cozy. I thought it was. It was.
Well, for those who are familiar with the term, or the phrase, the best food comes from the hole in the walls.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
and that sports club delivered.
Yes, it did.
Oh my God, we had the carbonara. I think we even got a little small pizza or stromboli
Uh
or
huh.
something.
It was pizza.
It was pizza, yeah, and of course the Italian beer was great. I haven't had a bad beer yet in a foreign country. I really haven't.
No, and I'm not a beer person myself, and yes, and I generally drink some of yours, but yeah, I have. They taste pretty good to me.
Yeah, they're great beers.
Oh, but the pizza that we had, I just want to elaborate on that. Now, when we eat pizza here, we eat one or two slices and we're full.
Right.
They have their personal pan pizza is more like a medium pizza here, right? So I was able to eat that whole pizza and did not feel like overly
Stuffed.
right,
Right.
overly full. Like I was just, I'm ready to puke. I ate too much. So I say that to say that I think they have better quality,
We have put all these preservatives and all this
of
other stuff in
course.
there, right? And they don't have those rules. They just, hey, look, we need flour,
Right,
we
just the
need some
basic.
water, some yeast, and it comes off like that. Like so, when you taste the pasta, when you taste
It's clean and
it just doesn't feel heavy. You mean you eat a
absolutely.
whole plate full of something and you're satisfied, but you're not like
Overly,
yeah,
bloated and full. Like, oh my goodness, I just ate entirely too much.
absolutely.
Didn't feel it at all.
Absolutely. It was so again I could talk about food forever, but it was just absolutely
That
incredible.
was my fault. I think I.
That's so when the food we were going places, we were doing things. I think it was one point where we had gotten done watching the looking at the ruins, and we stopped at this little place for lunch that had like prosciutto and melon, and
Oh yeah, that's right. What was that orange drink I got?
I will put it out in the shorts.
Yes, Will.
But that drink was absolutely outstanding. I think
Yes.
there's a picture of you literally
Yeah,
about to
yeah.
melt into your chair because you have prosciutto and melon, the
Melon and oh
aperosol or
my
whatever, yeah,
goodness,
next to you.
I was in heaven.
Yeah. But so anyway, here's the thing. Um, all of that led us to this kind of point where we were like, hey, maybe we could do more than just kind of visit this place.
Right.
We really started looking later at, hey, what does it take to not just visit here, but
Right.
what does it look like if you're actually living here?
Absolutely.
And with that in mind, that's how I really kind of started my journey. I think even before I even told you what I was doing, I was starting to pull stuff up on the internet and do the research.
Yeah.
And what I found was that generally, in terms of whether you're looking for a family-based kind of environment, or whether you're a digital nomad, or whether you're just a retiree,
Right.
that based on the fact that Italy's kind of various areas, right? Like, so you have these coastal areas, you have these urban areas, you have these rural areas, that Italy offered something for anybody who was looking for that kind of platinum vision, matching up with the
Lifestyle.
lifestyle environment.
Right.
If these are the things that interested you, the food,
Absolutely.
the culture, add to it that the services were there, right? Italy is very, very familiar with either offering services or providing services that
Yes.
align with that. So
Yes.
I looked into to that, and here's what I found initially. Right, for urban lifestyle, living. We're talking about urban lifestyle. We're talking about Rome, Milan,
Okay.
things of that nature.
Right.
That you can find rent for a really nice one bedroom apartment was about $900 to $1,600,
Yeah.
something around there. The
Interesting.
food, in terms of your ability to either shop at the market, shop at the grocery stores, or however you choose to do it, could cost you three to $500.
Yeah.
And then transportation, because they have such a modern and efficient travel system in terms of the
Mm-hmm.
metro, the
Yes.
buses, the
Yes.
things of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
You really don't require a car if you're living in Milan or you're living in Rome, and your transportation over the course of them is $100 and probably going up to 200 depending
Mm-hmm.
upon what you're using.
Yeah, I would say that.
Now, the coastal experience for Italy is a little bit different. Rent was $700 to $1,300 a month, and then the food was depending upon what kind of food you were looking for, right?
Right.
Like if you're a basic, the staples kind of person,
Mm-hmm.
it could be as low as about $250 a month. But if you're coastal and you're the
Mm-hmm.
seafood and or you like a specific brand, some of which may be imported,
Right.
it could go as much as $400 or $500.
Yeah.
But the services were much lower because generally a lower population there for them to
Right.
have to really kind of
Correct.
service. Now, in the rural areas, this is where I found that they're really magic for some who are really exploring this opportunity. I found first initially on Instagram, social media,
Mm-hmm.
these posts that were talking about, hey, you get this house for $1, you get this house for free. If you live here for X amount of time, we might even pay you. And that's because there's
Right.
certain population drops in the rural areas of places like Italy, other
Mm-hmm.
countries as well up in that area. Um, and so if you average it out in terms of that rural lifestyle, you could find something, within a $500 to $1,000 range for some place to live.
Yes.
Food's probably going to be about the same,
Mm-hmm.
much slower pace. You
Right.
probably get to know your neighbors
With
in your community a little bit more.
yes.
But more importantly, if you're doing the deep research, you may even find some opportunities where they're either paying you
Mm-hmm.
to live there over time, or they're willing to offer you a really good deal on housing. What are some of the other things? Let's talk about some of the other things that really, from a lifestyle and environment perspective, that I found were very appealing for Italy.
Okay.
Obviously, we talked about the food quality.
Yes.
It really is. I mean,
Yes.
the healthcare access. Rome and Italy at large, the research showed that there was very modern in
Mm-hmm.
healthcare services, that there was this reliability.
Mm-hmm.
While we were in Rome, we saw ambulances running all over the place.
Yeah.
Unlike Panama City,
Yeah.
a little bit more police car kind of traffic. I think law
It
enforcement are
was
kind of running code.
it was a lot. We hearing sirens all the time.
Yeah. Rome, in terms of tourism and just general population, is a much
Yeah.
larger community. I think
It
Panama
is.
City was about 3, 4 million. I got to believe Rome's bigger than that.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
And then you add the tourists in
Yes.
during a
Yes.
tourist season,
Mm.
and it was really it was just a lot of people. So you're going to expect that there's going to be an uptick in
Absolutely.
all these other little things that happen.
People that would drive the little motor scooters
Mm-hmm.
and they would get hit by cars, unfortunately, all the time
Yeah, that
there.
did happen a lot.
That happened a lot there.
It did. Look, look, I don't want to paint the picture that there was just mass carnage on
No,
on
not
Roman
mascot.
streets. It was happening consistently.
Yes, it was happening.
Uh, so much so that we were paying much more particular attention with how we were walking
Yeah,
when we were
right.
walking, because it
Exactly.
was clear. Yeah, it could happen, Yeah,
easily. Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Watch yourself.
Be careful
So,
out there. Be careful.
uh, look, from a cultural depth, if if you were somebody that was really interested in immersing yourself in a community, that's something that I think you could find it regardless of what area that you chose, right?
Absolutely.
If it
I
was an
agree.
urban environment and you were in a community, a
Yes.
neighborhood, if it was a coastal environment, which was, really kind of, I think, uh, even more kind of close knit because everything that they're doing is really kind of associated. Generally, their
Mm-hmm.
business stuff is associated with
Mm-hmm.
fishing or the
Yes.
water, or whatever the case may be,
Mm-hmm.
or tourism, and so that community is a little bit tighter as
Mm-hmm.
well. And then obviously in the rural communities, hey, if there's just a handful of you, you're gonna know each other.
Absolutely.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
so we found that there was this wide variety of kind of depth in terms of
Mm-hmm.
what it is that you were looking for. You could probably find it. The walkable living, I would say, it was all walkable, right? Whether you're in the city and you were using mass transit in the
Mm-hmm.
metro line in Rome was incredible. Um, or you were in a rural environment and it was really about, hey, look, these are your Ubers or Uber
Mm-hmm.
like places
Right.
that could take you. Or the coastal areas where they could, literally just be using boats in order to get back and forth from one town to the next along the coast. So one of the things that we do is while we're having this podcast, we were playing, really some footage from the area that we're really talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that came up was this El Antico sandwich shop.
Oh my goodness.
Focaccia bread, I mean, whole mozzarella, the prosciutto and the tomatoes. I think every time we ate in Italy, it was quiet at the table. We didn't talk about
It
anything. We were
was
just
not too
eating.
much conversation going on. Not at all. It was not. We were
Did I
concentrated.
mention that we like food?
We do. We love to
So,
eat. We love to eat.
so I mean, yeah, it was just absolutely everywhere you turn, it was just great food.
It was.
Um, and then there was a certain I found, and I don't know what your take was on this, but I found that there was a certain level of diversity in terms of the lifestyle and the people. Like the Florence folks, it was a very, very different, felt
Mm-hmm.
very, very different from Rome. I think maybe because it was less tourists
Okay.
at the time that we went in Florence. I think if we probably started later in the afternoon. And there were some places in Florence that were really, really touristy. Like we wound
Mm-hmm.
up on this hill and there was a church up there. And we took the picture with the statue behind us, but we were overlooking Florence.
Okay. Yeah.
And I mean, that place was fairly full, but it was built for tourism.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and they had the parks where the statues were and all the rest
Okay.
of it. And remember, we had to drive through all of these really beautiful Italian villas
Mm-hmm.
along the winding
Mm-hmm.
road in order to get up there.
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful area.
Mm-hmm.
But it was this certain level of diversity. It was almost like for me, Florence. The personality of Florence was upclass suburban, right? A little bit more spread out. Felt like the major portion of the city in Florence, everywhere that we went, it felt like there was money there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Whereas in Rome, there were certain areas where you would realize, okay, hey, look, we are the tourist area. This
Mm-hmm.
is definitely where all everybody else lives.
Right.
So if you were looking for that, I say that to say if you're looking for that type of diversity, you could find it there in Italy. Now, here's the last thing I want to talk about real quick before we get off of here. I really wanted to really get to the discussion points about residency, right? So this is all great.
Mm-hmm.
You've explained all these great things about Italy, but what does it take in order to live there? And there are a couple residency paths for non European Union
Mm-hmm.
citizens. That includes the elective residence visa, which is best for retirees. or financially independent individuals, I would say,
Right.
who don't have a plan to work in Italy at all. They're just going to get there and kind of relax and
Yes.
enjoy the community and immerse
Right.
themselves.
Right.
It typically requires passive income, like a proof of not only that income, but also a proof of accommodation. So you're going to
Right.
have to find some place to live and be able to qualify that and qualify the fact that you have obtained private health insurance. And that's
Right.
for the elective residence visa.
Okay.
Now, there's also a digital nomad visa, remote worker, which is really exactly what you would expect. It's for
Mm-hmm.
freelancers or remote employees that are earning income outside of Italy.
All right.
Investor, there's an investor visa for Italy. That's really for the folks that are coming in. Right? I mean,
Right.
you got to have a
That's
high
some.
net worth for
Mm-hmm.
that,
Yes.
and you have to do qualifying investments into Italy.
Yes.
So think about donating to make this building
Mm-hmm.
or donating to do this or whatever
Right.
the case may be.
Right.
It's also approved for cultural or public interest donations. So
Mm-hmm.
if you're promoting the societal good or things of that nature, that's also acceptable within that. The final one that I found that was really worth discussing was the family reunification. I thought that was really interesting. It's for spouses or close family members
Mm-hmm.
or who are joining someone that's already a resident of Italy. So if you have family members there, if you have other folks there.
Mm-hmm.
The last thing that I want to talk about real quick before we get off,
Right.
cost is lower, but services are going to be obviously not as robust or
Mm-hmm.
robustly available as you would find in
Right.
your larger, your major cities. And so all of that came together to really show us that we were, first of all, that finding our platinum life was a reality,
Mm-hmm.
and that even though we felt that from Italy's perspective, we loved the visit, but it may have been a little bit further away than we wanted to be from the United States,
Right.
at least initially, that it wasn't going to prevent us from at least exploring the opportunity of what it had available. And for those who are really considering spending a season here or a
Mm-hmm.
season there, Italy may be a great opportunity for you.
Yeah. And yeah, because that's what sparked our quest for our platinum life. So,
Absolutely,
so
absolutely.
yeah.
I mean, that was the start of it. I mean, in hindsight, I had just finished about a year in retirement, about a little bit less than a year, about
Yeah, a
eight or
little
nine
less.
months,
Mm-hmm.
and I felt that I was just starting to get to that point where I was like, "There's got to be more to this thing, this
Yeah.
phase, than this. It really does
Absolutely.
have to be more to it."
Yeah.
And Italy gave that perfect gateway into that exploration phase for us.
Yes.
So, look, I hope this has been entertaining to you. I hope that you find some of this information.
Cool. Mm-hmm.
We will be back with another podcast soon. Uh, Again, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, and I hope that you guys um, receive every blessing that you guys are looking for, hoping for.
Yes. Yes. Look, 26 for us is about positivity and getting on with it and really making sure that everybody is um I'd say for 26 that everybody finds joy, peace, and contentment in whatever life that they have chosen.
Yes, whatever route you choose is that it brings you much happiness, and that's at the end of the day, that's what it's about.
Yeah, I mean, look, especially with you that are really kind of experiencing your retirement phase. Um, I speak a lot about Denzel Washington talking about the,
Hmm.
you
Yeah,
learn and then you earn and then you
yeah,
return. And for that return phase, you really want it to be a lifestyle that aligns with bring in a way that brings you joy and contentment
yes.
and really kind of excitement.
I think 2026 is going to be an amazing year for a lot of us, and
Oh, absolutely.
especially us. I'm so excited with our venture and with the platinum life. So
Yeah, yeah.
looking
Look,
proud.
and I mean, look, we've talked to family and friends. Everybody's in a, I would say, a fairly good place. I mean, there are little things of life that you just have to kind of endure. Like this comes up, that comes up, whatever the case may be. But what I've found all generally is that we have found that our friends and our family and our colleagues have found a way forward that brings them peace and contentment, and I
Absolutely.
just can't be more excited about that.
Me too. Absolutely.
So look, with that said, we will talk to you soon. Please hit the like button and subscribe to the AMEXPAT Platinum Journey. We also would really love for you to join our following on social
Yes.
media on AMEXPAT Platinum and Best Life Blueprint.
Absolutely. Yes.
And we will be talking to you soon with another episode. That's it for now.
See you next time.